Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the WIKWEMKOONG Species at Risk Program, SHKAKAMIK KWE WAAT SAA MAA JIG event. Sorry I couldn't be there in attendance today. I'm in Sarnia for training, and I could just say a few words. I welcome you for the event today. Hope breakfast was great. You're all ready for educational day with the Species at Risk Program and our partners. Saw the agenda before I left, and great agenda. Got the school starting it off. Got the University of Guelph following up with Yarmul after that. Nadine from Magnetawan Lands Resources team. Amelia from the Manitowabi Turtles Club. And Hannah from the Toronto Zoo in regards to Massasauga rattlesnake. There are other partners that are not here today that would be nice to have at some point in time in the future. And hopefully that will be coming soon. I also like to thank our funders who are not here, but I'd like to acknowledge them: Environment and Climate Change Canada, MNR, Aeromet Foundation, and others. Without them, their support, we wouldn't have been able to get this program up and running the way it is running today. I hope you all have a great day today, and hope you take back some great information and various programs that Species Service Program and Theodore has been doing over the years. They've been successful, been great, and looking forward to some great news when I get back. Right, be rich. Good day.
Awesome. I guess next on the agenda it's myself, and I think I'll just quickly go over how it started, and some of the stuff that has happened over the years in regards to promoting the Species at Risk program. I think that I'll touch on a little bit of everything what has occurred over the years, and I think that's most of it. I'm going to try and touch on the things that are made an impact within the community as the surrounding areas. As aware, I do work with other First Nations away from WIKWEMKOONG, as well as educational institutions. And I'll just touch on that a little bit because we do have those institutions here in regards to how they came to be here in WIKWEMKOONG. And I think that I'll just start from where the humble beginnings of the Species at Risk program. I'd like to say Chimigwich for council being here, our elders and our community members, as well as the lands committee. Chimigwich. As you are aware, I work for the WIKWEMKOONG Lands Office, and we're forever trying to promote the language within the department. And I think that we are going down the right path with it. And I'm not sure if you've ever heard the WIKWEMKOONG Lands Office what it says in the language. It says WIKWEMKOONG Eke Mino Enodegisi Magok Genuenjigik. I don't know. And then I'll just bypass that. I think you all know me, where I'm from, and where I live. So I don't think there's a problem there. Along the way, I know Bobby was mentioning about our medicines, and I think that that's a major part of this program is the medicines, and I think that we all at one time or another wanted to pick medicines or had the thought of picking medicines. In our program, one of my programs, I try and help the community as well as other communities within Manitoulin, along the North Shore, even into Michigan, to identify their medicines. If you were to guess, what do you think that is? Yep, it's weekend. It's one of the, I think it's four identifications you could use to identify it, right? So the WIKWEMKOONG Species at Risk Program became into existence in 2007. At that time, John was just starting off, and the band was considering doing a management plan. I think it's a management plan, land use plan. Sorry. Um, as so that's when I came on board. At that time, 2007. What is that? I mean, going on what? 50 years. I've been here 50 years. I feel like I've been here 50 years. Well, anyway, so as it developed, I think the program itself realized that there was more to this. It wasn't just a species at risk program. Doing management plans and all that for the species at risk that we have here. I think that one of the elders here in the community said, "Nishnabeyadzuin, Mino, Mino Modzuin." You have to include, which means um, the way we are and how we carry our spirits. I think that we had to combine that with the program, because without it, we couldn't move forward, because we needed the backing of the community and the elders. And we found that we needed those 7 teachings to guide us. And I think that over the years, working with the elders is the driving force in regards to the species at risk program. I don't think that the species at risk program wouldn't be where it is now without those people. And when you put the species at risk program into the language, it's called WIKWEMKOONG Ke Nenizanak Winogoshkak, which means species at risk. I was told I have 10 minutes. I think that one of the things we promote all the time here is that this is one of the species at risk that we first looked for when the program started. That was 50 years ago. It's called the Waldorf virus, and people always mistaken it for, what's that bigger one called? Blue flag. Because this one you're looking at, it only grows to that. Another species at risk. Probably still there too. After 50 years. We find that doing these talks all over Ontario has we have to include laughter, because we can't be always serious. And I think that right from the get-go, we use this as our vision statement, that we conserve the land, water, environment, and promote sustainability for our children and their children, which also includes the language. We included the language maybe 10 years ago, because we found that the language itself is a species at risk also. phone go back. If you were to guess, how many how many species do you think we have here on the reserve that are very um, to the point where there won't be here in WIKWEMKOONG anymore or anywhere else? If you were to guess, how many do you think we have? The ones that the government assigns us to look for, we have 32. But as you are referring to, we do have 100. Because one of the things that we found out the elders wanted was that to include our plants also, like mepin and all those. So we do have 100, close to 100 here. So my funding requires me to do management plans for this. And I did have a copy of it somewhere, but Anishinaabe, what is it? What's it called? Anishinaabe, conservation rank, where it is at, how close is it to being extinct here? I think that's conservation rank. Where you can find it. We never relinquish where it is, but a general idea of where on the reserve. Is it on south end or north end? We never relinquish where these plants are. That includes our medicinal plants. Recommended actions. How are we going to make sure that it's here? 50 years from now, when I'm still here. And what harms it? Why is it in danger? So how do we get that point across? We do community outreach. We go into classrooms in settings like this. We use any kind of method we can get that message across. So what projects have we undertaken over the years? I think first of all, I'd like to say chimiwach to all these individuals that have played a role in regards to moving this project further down the road. And I know that hosting a day camp it's a lot of work and a lot of moving parts to it, a lot of individuals doing their part in regards to making these camps a success. So we've hosted something like 7, 8 over the years, day camps. First one we had, I think there was something like 13 individuals, kids. This year, I think it was a 2-day camp, and we had 90. I think we had 90 registered. So we are moving the project along. And I'm going to get winded soon. We curated educational material, pamphlets, one of these things. What do we call it? The pskose, why it's there and what's going on there. The birds, things like that. But hopefully all this will be turned into the language. Help other communities in regards to species at risk, as well as their medicines and how they can move forward. I think one of the greatest accomplishments that the program has started was starting a working group. And pretty much that working group is, they steer the program. on what can do for the community. They're my bosses. Well, I always say when I do these talks somewhere else, like in Michigan and Southern Ontario, I always say that when I first came to the program, I only had one boss. Like when I went to see if I had a problem and see how I could work it out. And today I have 31. I think that we're 30 strong for the working group, and we try and meet every month. This is where this idea came from, to have this. And we have one of the other First Nations asked if I could promote trying to get other First Nations together and create a working group. And I think that we're 5 strong. There's Shishigwani, Cape Croker, Walpole, and WIKWEMKOONG. 4 right now. And we call that group Ambe Mamoisda. Let's start working together. I think that's what we call it. We meet every 3 months, but in the summer months we don't have the time. The program has helped establish Friends of Manitowoc Turtles, which there's a representation here somewhere, right back there. We aided those guys in starting their own Manitoulin turtle. What is it? Yeah, well, group. Yeah. I've worked with Manitoulin, with the Manitoulin Nature Club on some of its projects. Manitoulin Streams has been involved in the program, the Species at Risk program. And here it is again, started a working group. I think that's the best thing that has ever happened to this program was that working group. We're trying to recreate the way we were years ago. And 30 years ago, we used to burn fields to regenerate growth, new life sort of thing. We're doing that. And right, I guess 3 years into the program, we started doing this and listening to the community elders and what they wanted. And one of the most important messages we got was to get them out of those classrooms. The elders call them boxes. Kokmosing kiduk. Which means put them back on the land. And hence, the Marsh Project was born. I know a lot of you people have been there, and I think that the working group, along with the species and the elders, were the driving force in putting that together. They're pretty much, like I said, they're my bosses. They just throw ideas at me and, can you do this? We probably could. That's why it's there. And Meshkadeong Shkosse, we called it. But I think that we still needed a name for it, like an actual name. So, like I said, it was at the request of the elders that they wanted to bring our kids away from those boxes. It's an eco trail. It's a trail system that has little impact on the land, as you had noticed yesterday, that it has little impact on the land, and it's for the enjoyment of the guest that goes there. And one of the things that we promote there is to provide traditional knowledge to and experience the way it was. As 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 we noticed yesterday, um, some of those kids that go there have problems in school, and then they get there and they're a whole different person. They they learn to play with each other, and they teach other actually on on the land itself. Like the older kids, they take care of the smaller ones that are there, and that's a great thing to see. And I think this is one of the other driving force there. Yum, food. We provide meals, hot dogs, and whatnot there. I have to mention also with the SHKAKAMIK program. One of the things the elders wanted was that we not charge any money for that. It's there. Um, we didn't pay for all that stuff to to uh to be a part of that land, and that's one thing they insisted was that we not charge anything for that, and to be accessible to all the community members as well as visitors, because we've had visitors there from Germany. I think this is, I don't know how this unfolded myself. It just suddenly I had opportunities of involving other institutions and companies come to Wiki and to see if they can aid this program along to further down the road to be a success. And this is it. Some of the spin-offs are the University of Guelph. They will be here presenting, and I won't get into their whatever they're going to be presenting. So some of the stuff that they've helped us along is the bat survey, wolf survey, as well as insect survey. College Boreal, donations of seedlings offer us to guide us in reestablishing our medical plants. Industry, Chartres lumber, Corbier lumber, Vermilion forest management, and of course my friend over there, Yermo. He's an independent ecologist. I don't know where he got that name, but I'll use it. Somebody said that yesterday. We were driving around the road, and he mentioned that um, to come here and work, you have to take a joke. He says, because if you can't take a joke, you're you're not going to survive here. Which I guess it's true. Uh and again, we're going back to the elders. They're the driving force of this thing. Uh, they visited the marsh. Oh, the lady's here too. He's not here. And I think this is the point we were trying to get across about that Scossa is that I mentioned this yesterday also. I think that um, when there's snow underground, people seem to think that it no longer operates or you're not able to visit it. But it's wrong. It's like anything else. That marsh doesn't sleep. There's always something there, a bird or something like that to watch. We have a skating rink there. We have snowshoeing there. Children come there and play in the snow. They put what do we call snowmen together. What kind of time I have? Anyway, I think one of the greatest ideas that the elders had was to do a plant book, which, where is it? Oh, right here. Which is these things. It took 3 years to put this together by the elders. I can't take credit for it because, like I said, I'm just the person that they direct something to. So that's how this book came to be. 3 years. 3 years it took because I take a template to them. This is the way it's going to look. No, let's change this. And one of the things that they were quite adamant about is that we not put what the plant is for, because they knew that way back that if that plant gets patent, we'll never use it because it's somebody else's. So that's why they said, no, you don't put what the plant is for, but put where you can find it, like a habitat. I worked with Cape Croker, and they know that we're trying to get back to the old ways where we trade, and they said they knew that we don't have wild ginger here, not as much as we used to. And they welcomed us into our community to come and transplant some of that stuff. So we did. We did go down there and transplant. We brought it back home. But I don't think none of it survived. Because I know that mine, again, the infamous rabbits got into it. It was doing well. Some of the group. And this is it. This is the end of my presentation. I just touched on a little bit of what I do. We do. And I did a long time ago. I met this individual, and we started talking. And he says, you got to add that to it. Anywhere you go, you have to add this, he says. So every time I do a talk anywhere, I do his wishes. I said, yeah, I'll do that. So ever since then, many, many years ago, this slide has been there. Water is our lifeline, and there is no water. What? If there is no water, we will not exist. When we as people come into this world, it's water that brings us out of the womb. Women are the caretakers of water because of our birth. Water is sacred. It sustains us all. There are 4 sacred types of water: birth, rain, sap water, the water that comes off the leaves from the dew. So I had to translate that because the individual only spoke in our language. He says, you add this. And the other thing that I have to say is that when you talk to an elder, if he sees paper or tape recorder or even a phone nearby that you're able to record what he is saying, that's it. That he cuts you off there. So I had to memorize this, what he said, because you always hear from the elders, I'm only going to tell you this once, and you better remember. That's what I do with my friend here, Bobby. That's exactly what they say to me, even Bond there. If I asked him a question, he says, I'm only telling you this once, and I better remember. Anyway, thank you, Miigwech, for putting up with me for last half hour, I guess. So next in line to do a very long presentation is the representation from we call the group SHKAKAMIK KWE WAAT SAA, Keepers of Mother Earth. And they are the big branch of the Species at Risk program. But she's going out the door. And I'd like to introduce Brenda Pongush. She'll talk about the humble beginnings of the Species at Risk group.